President of the Aleppo City Council says 150,000 people are facing a death sentence in the besieged area of eastern Aleppo. He says more than 800 people have already died in the past month. During that time, the Syrian regime has retaken around 75% of eastern Aleppo, a place that was held by rebels for 4 years. TRT World spoke to one man who works for a rescue organisation known as the White Helmets. He says if Aleppo falls to the regime, people fear there will be genocide.
When Assad's forces will recapture all Aleppo, first thing, we are so scared about the big genocide will happen in the coming days if they come closer to us, this area where all the civilians or the White Helmets are crowded now. We are really scared about this genocide, and we know that Assad's forces executed many activists and many of the people who said no to them before. First thing they do when they capture any area, they kill the people who said no to them. No, up till now, Aleppo under siege since more than 100 days. No one can get Aleppo city, and no one can get out of Aleppo city. No one.
Well, as the fighting continues, the United Nations says it hasn't even been able to evacuate wounded children. The UN Syria humanitarian advisor Jan Egeland says the United States and Russia are far from reaching an agreement on how to get people to safety.
Russia said they will definitely be discussing with us how to organize evacuation still, but they're not anymore promising any pause. So it will be very difficult. We will be working, including on those between 100 and 500 children have been identified as in need of evacuation for medical reasons.
Well, for more on this, Sandra Gatman joins us now from Gaziantep. So we heard Jan Egeland there saying that the US and Russia have these differences on evacuation. So where does that leave the situation?
Well, whatever the U.S. and Russia agree on in talks over the next few days, if they manage to achieve some kind of breakthrough in what's been a very long diplomatic stalemate over what to do in eastern Aleppo, be it a partial withdrawal or total withdrawal of rebel groups in East Aleppo, it has to be something that the opposition are willing to accept. Now, accepting withdrawal to the opposition is tantamount to surrender. That's what we've been hearing from officials over the last week. But given the staggering number of losses they faced in under 10 days, 85% of their territory now controlled by the regime, many are wondering whether this is now the time for them to consider the plan B. But leaving Aleppo would be a huge symbolic blow to their rebellion, although they have conceded that losing this city would not knock their entire rebellion. If they are considering the plan of evacuation, their preferred option is to retreat into the northern countryside, and that has to be something included in the proposal the U.S. and Russia are discussing. So far, Moscow has pointed to their preferred option, which is to see rebels retreat to Idlib. But of course, Idlib province has come under increasing regime attack recently as well. So a tough choice for the rebels to face if the new proposal that the U.S. and Russia do eventually agree on comes down to withdrawal.
And we've been hearing some very grim accounts of life inside Aleppo right now, Sandra. Can you tell us what's happening there?
Indeed, some of the areas where Syrian forces are now taking back control of are actually seeing civilians returning to their homes and medical evacuations and aid drops taking place. One of the biggest medical evacuations we've seen since the Syrian regime launched their offensive in late November took place today. 148 civilians were evacuated from the old city of eastern Aleppo, which until recently was under rebel control. control. Many of them were injured people, but a lot of them were handicapped patients as well. They've been transported now from that medical facility to University Hospital in western Aleppo. And we're seeing this slowly more and more in those areas, considered liberated by the Syrian regime. But in the meantime, about 150,000 people, that's the number being reported now, are believed to still remain in besieged Aleppo. One official has said he believes that 1,500 people are in need of urgent treatment and need to be evacuated. And this is what the rebels are pushing for with this 5-day ceasefire. 4 other countries are on board. But as we've seen recently, any proposals for humanitarian ceasefires or any pause in fighting to allow aid in have been shot down.
Sandra, thank you for that. Sandra Gatman in Gaziantep there.